Nuclear!
Hello and welcome to another installment of the Signs with Football Fantasy Football League Fantasy Football Podcast. This week brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper, the only fantasy football app made for fans by fans. This is the show where we take a look into the details and goings-on in the league because we all know our commissioner won't. I'm here with my co-host as usual, Mr. RJ Wagner. RJ 1-0, how are you doing this week?
Ted, great to be here. Like always, we'll get into my matchup, more specifics later on. Glad to be 1-0. Definitely a breath of fresh air to start the week.
Definitely a breath of fresh air for you. Probably like a breath of maybe plastic bag over my head. Before we really get going, I just want to say one thank you to Mr. Beast. He shouted us out specifically on the broadcast, gave us our own NFL team. But really just thank to you, Mr. Beast. I want to say thanks. And speaking of a beast of a man, just a real animal. Today we've got our special guest, the commissioner.
Go horse, baby.
How are you doing, Trey?
I am doing fantastic, Ted. Thanks for having me on, boys. Always good to be on the pod. 1-0 in fantasy. Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. Really a great weekend. Feeling fantastic. Awesome start to the NFL season.
Hold on. I got some quick breaking news I have to break real quick.
Wow.
Gracie Ann Nader confirms that Sister Brooks Nader is dating Carlos Alcaraz.
After the allegations that Brooks Nader herself is dating Yannick Sinner?
Yannick Sinner.
Wow. Breaking live.
Oh,
wow.
After the Alcaraz big win.
I want to know how Emma Raducanu feels about that because I know that her and Alcaraz have had some goings-ons. Whew.
I started watching Love Thy Nader.
Is that Ralph Nader?
No, that is it's a Brooks Nader reality TV show.
Well, leaving reality TV show behind, I want to get started just with some early recap. So, RJ, you think Dylan Efron and I forget who his partner is are going to be the heavy sorry, wrong podcast. Week 1 recap. Since we got Trevor here, let's talk about a beatdown, the biggest beatdown. Chase was called out last week as not taking fantasy as seriously, and boy, did it look like it. Trevor, you had Lamar with 33. I think you should change your team name to Lamar Carry Me to Repeat, but also you had CMC with 19, Chris Boswell with 14, and Chase, on the other hand, Jamar Chase, 3.6, ovarian cancer only with 7. Ooh, we need to excise that tumor. And then Brian Thomas Jr. with only 8.5. And that's not even talking about Kittle's injury. RJ, what did you think about that matchup before Trevor really gives us the inside scoop?
Yeah, like you said, Lamar, Puka, CMC all looked great. Just wanted to point out for my week 1 last year when I had Puka and CMC didn't play because he ended up being hurt, and Puka got hurt after his first catch of 7 yards in the game. So I just wanted to point that out. But that's great for you. Ovarian cancer, though, I will say one stat to give out. Bell cow for Chase going forward with those Chargers, 94% rush share. Yeah, we're getting into those now. But I will say only a 6% target share. But new stat maybe here, I don't know if I've mentioned it, 61% route participation. Chargers game plan clearly was not to just dink and dunk it down the field. Because as you saw with Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston. But I'm not too worried about that target share. Love the stranglehold that Ovarian has on the backfield there. And then for Trevor, Trey McBride, I'll note, was picked up right where he left off. He's your tight end, right?
He is.
Yeah, picked up right where he left off. 31% target share and no touchdowns. just what he's used to. And then you sort of mentioned it, Ted. Chase, just alarm bells got to be ringing. Jamar, Kittle on the IR. BTJ was out-targeted by Travis Hunter after week 1. I don't know about that. Trev, great win. And yeah, Chase, the alarm bells would be ringing if I'm him.
Trev, what did you think about the win?
Yep. Very good to start off 1-0. I know Chase was probably too distracted with his big Niners win, so I don't even know if he saw where the scores were at throughout Sunday. He texted me on the flight back asking what the score looked like, so I don't think he had any idea, just proving that point that he just doesn't care about this league anymore. But, yeah, I was proud of how my guys performed. Only touchdowns I got were from Lamar on Sunday Night Football. So it took until about Sunday night, about 9 o'clock, for me to have my first touchdown, see my first guy go through the end zone. So that was upsetting. Hopefully we get some more scores next week. But still very proud of CMC and Puka, as you mentioned, how they performed, both with 18, both without scoring. So hopefully they can be huge production guys for me this year. Little disappointed in Kenneth Walker, what I saw from Kenneth Walker. I think that's going to be a big problem moving forward. I don't know if I'm going to start him again until he can prove to me that he's
the
here
Zamir White.
ready to put up some numbers. Yep, he's my Zamir White of this year. So I think I got him in about the 5th round too. So, but moving forward, we'll see. We'll plug and play in that RB2 spot. For Chase, Mahomes put up some numbers after a slow start. I think 28 from Mahomes is really as much as you can ask for. The Kittle injury really hurt Chase. He had a touchdown on the first drive, nice 10 points, and then obviously now he's on IR. So we'll see what Chase does at tight end moving forward. And then, yeah, just Jamar Chase and Brian Thomas. Chase's first 2 picks combining for 12 points. Not what you want to see there. Really, I think what this matchup came down to was our first 2 picks. My first 2 picks of CMC and Puka put up 36. Chase's first 2 picks with Jamar Chase and Brian Thomas put up 12. So that's a difference in 24 right there, and I won by 23. So really just those first 2 picks is what made the difference. But definitely some worrisome for Chase with those guys not producing. But, I mean, Bengals always start slow, so I got to imagine he's hoping for a lot more to come from Jamar. But excited to get the W.
You know, Trev, I do want to just throw something out to you right now because another breaking news thing. I just went on my NFL app, and I had a trade offer proposed to me. And it was for one of my running backs for a wide receiver. You might want to reach out to this person. They might be looking for a running back. If you're willing to ship Kenneth Walker, take your chance on something else, he might be willing to take the chance. I was offered Zay Flowers from Kevin.
Whoa, selling high.
For Devon Achane.
Buying low.
So that might be something you want to look at. Who knows?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I declined.
I have had
That's not a bad trade. I actually like. I don't want to get too off topic, but I kind of like Zay Flowers, but I like Devon Achane too. I need sort of my core 3 running backs.
I have had a certain league member offer me a variety of trades. I think it's up to 3 or 4 now for Trey McBride.
Whoa.
Tell you.
If I had to guess, it is the bank because the man is pissed at tight end.
Uh-huh.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. You know, why don't we get right into it? The marquee matchup, the Monday night matchup. RJ, you beat Monty 108.8 to 106.8. Smallest margin of victory so far this year. It's week 1. But Binky had 43 points out of Josh Allen and 21 out of BJ Poppington, but still not enough to cover up the doo-doo dog pile that was A.J. Brown, 1, T. Higgins, 5, T.J. Hockenson, 3, and for some reason, Matt Gay, his kicker, with 3 points. And RJ, you had nothing flashy, but you had consistency across the board. Kamara 12, Kyler 22, Achane, Kelsey, Gibbs, all getting you 10 plus. Nothing wrong with any of those as long as they're all firing. What'd you think about that one, RJ?
Yeah, another classic matchup between me and Bink. I actually looked it up. It wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago when the Bink swept me in the regular season, beating me by less than 1 point and then less than 2 points in both matchups. And then he destroyed me last year once, and I think I destroyed him once. But it's 2 years ago. Would love to get away from that because those games are way too stressful, especially when you don't have the player playing because you feel hopeless, right? Mm-hmm. I'll say Malik Neighbors and Drake London give me 9.5, 9.6. Wasn't too happy about that. You do a little deeper dive, 15 targets, 12 targets. I can sort of live with that. Hopefully Drake London's shoulder is okay. But once Josh Allen made the remarkable comeback, I thought honestly I was toast. But I don't know why J.J. McCarthy didn't rely on his tight end in his debut. I really thought he would do more of that, so I truly thought I was toast. Anyways, going to some of the stats, I really just have one for this or two for this matchup. Bijan had an incredible 85% route participation this week for Shea, but he only had a 55% rush share. Tyler Algier had 45%. And not sure if you guys saw the start of the game. First play, little pass to Bijan out wide. Second play, run, Tyler Algier.
Wow.
I don't like that. You know what I mean? I love Bijan, and I do actually think Tyler Algier is a good running back as well. But for fantasy-wise, it's giving me Walmart, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery.
Wow.
Probably not as good. David Montgomery's not as good as Tyler Algier. Bijan is as good as, or if not better than Jahmyr. But that sort of running back share, not a fan. And then A.J. Brown had just a 5% target share. The only other game in his career with that low of a target share. Ted, do you know?
What? Was that the game he played only 12 snaps?
12 snaps in week 18 of 2023.
Wow. And he played the whole game.
He played the whole game. That's the only other game with that low of a target share. There was rumors last year, remember, with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown absolutely hating each other. I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but I would not feel comfortable with A.J. Brown. The two guys, we already mentioned one, Brian Thomas Jr. and A.J. Brown. Those are two receivers that I am really scared of. Alarm bells would be ringing. That's all I have.
Trev, you got anything to put on top of that between Bink and RJ's matchup?
Yeah, RJ covered most of it. Definitely the matchup of the week came down to the last drives of Monday Night Football. Always exciting, always a good matchup between these two. And Hockenson just couldn't get it done on the Bink's birthday. Bad way to end the Bink's birthday. If I were him, I'd try trading for a tight end. I don't know. I mean, Hockenson doesn't seem to be the guy for J.J. McCarthy. But
who do you think he should target?
Maybe a guy who, gets a lot of target shares, maybe doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but probably be a good idea just to get someone who's getting a lot of targets just because Hockenson didn't seem to be getting them. But
put it on the table, Trev. Who would you be looking for? Who would you want for your team?
Considering I really wanted McBride and I got him with the 4th round pick, I would say it has to be somebody in rounds that you drafted 1 through 3.
So
maybe throw in some other players.
Would you do – okay, so I got a question for you. A.J. Brown.
Bijan or Bucky?
Bijan or Bucky, okay. So wouldn't A.J. Brown, you would say no?
No. Because I think He got A.J. Brown in the 4th round after I got McBride.
Wow, that's an interesting way to look. Once the draft is over, I throw draft value out the window.
I agree. I think there are tons of things that can change. But I don't know if I would do the A.J. Brown either. Not for the draft, but
No, I think that's terrible.
I'm just kind of scared.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown.
But Josh Allen, he went insane. Really put Monty back in it. I didn't look, but I assume that he was the highest scorer for this week, Josh Allen, with 42. Had to be. But yeah, concern there about A.J. Brown. And then RJ, for you, I just had a solid performance from everybody. A lot of players just right around 10 points. Like you said, getting good targets. So nothing to be too worried about, even though the point total wasn't the highest. So, but great matchup, fun to watch. Always love the close matchups. Just glad I wasn't involved in it. So.
Also, I want to point out, this is just pure speculation, and it's alleged, but is NFL.com racist?
Whoa. Wow. Now,
have you guys clicked on the matchup recap by any chance?
Not for your
Crashy Rice gets by Bucky Me Hard R. That's not his name. His name's Binky's Up.
Wait a second.
Oh my God.
It's just a completely different name. They're giving him a completely different name. And then it also says in week 2, Crashy Rice plays Bucky Me Hard R. I don't play him again in week 2.
No.
While Bucky Me Hard R matches up with Crashy Rice. I just had to point that out. I was like, I don't know who Bucky Me Hard R is. Because he's up. I don't know.
Wow. And the bank was the big component of switching to sleeper.
Yeah. So that they probably know that. Wow. That's terrible.
Well, speaking for some reason, let's go to Kevin's matchup now. Kyle beat Kevin total 116 to 103. Really did Kevin in. Kyle didn't even need a quarterback. Joe Burrow had 11. I think that was like QB 20 or something. Maybe probably worse than that. But big shine on Kyle's team. Garrett Wilson with 19. I know you and me, RJ, have always been saying that he's a solid wideout and you have no reason not to start him. But him, Saquon, Maserati Marv, Cam Little really topped Kyle's production. Kevin, the other hand, if your Broncos D is one of your best scorers, going to be tough. They had 16. JSN had 15, but wasn't able to help out with Nico Collins 4 and Evan Ingram's 3.6, which really bogged Kevin down. RJ, what did you see on this matchup?
Cam Little, he's the guy that made the 70-yarder in the preseason, right?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah, this matchup, both tight ends actually got injured in the contest. Want to note that. But yeah, Kevin's namesake, Nico Collins, that he had to have him call in the suicide hotline after that performance. Jaden Daniels just scored as many points as Kyler for my team, and I got him like in the last round with the last quarterback chosen. Now, I will say on the bright spot for him, stat-wise, no other running back got a rush in Cincy other than Chase Brown. So that's one good thing for Kev. Now, one thing I will worry about for Kevin is James Conner. I don't know if you guys saw the usage with Trey Benson. He didn't split rush shares, but had a lot and was way more efficient. I mean, he did have like one carry for 50-some yards. But he did run well, and before week 1, I did see that their coach and James Conner himself were calling him a dog and that they plan to use him more this year because he runs so well. And Pacheco, I know he was on his bench, but I will say last season, week 1, 81% rush share, 17% target share. Really got a lot of work this year. 50% rush share with Kareem Hunt getting the other 50 and 8% target share. So that was cut in half as well. Plus, he did not look near as explosive as he did last year. Honestly, I think Kareem might have looked a little bit better. And then for Kyle, Joe Burrow, absolutely great performance. His best week 1 in 3 years. I will put that. That's his best week 1 in 3 years. Dropped him last year after his week 1 performance getting 6 points. And then he had 3.2 the year before with Trevor. But I will say in every other game that's not week 1, Joe Burrow does average 21 points per game. Genty and Saquon both clearly owning their own backfield. Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields look to have an amazing rapport with each other that I wasn't expecting. Maserati looked good. I really believed in Jadon Blue going into the season, but with him as a healthy scratch, Javonte Williams seemed to be the bell cow for the Cowboys, right? Bell cow for the Cowboys. I'm sure Kyle saw he outsnapped Miles Sanders 47-11, right? He's owning the backfield. So that's 3 running backs on Kyle's team that are absolute bell cows. Mm-hmm. Everyone was, I say everyone, the sports books counted Kyle's team out.
Yeah.
The bets came in, counted Kyle out. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the bets were just piling in against Kyle. Kyle was the biggest underdog in ASICS Sportsbook Week 1 history. We have futures writing against Kyle's team.
Wow.
ASICS. Just from what I've seen, because you can go on the ASICS app and you see like the bets share like you do on DraftKings or any other book. They're all against Kyle's team. Week 1, boom. Is Kyle's team now a massive contender? I tend to think so.
Wow. Huge for the sports book for Kyle's victory. Can't imagine who would try and place a bet against Kyle's team. That just makes no sense to me. But
some people might be saying the sports book was trying to bait people into placing a bad bet.
The sports book doesn't seem to know, but crazy whoever would do that. But congrats to the sports book. They did it again. Yeah, Kyle, obviously with Burrow, don't love to see that. But like you said, RJ, he's not good in week 1s. I think I saw a stat that Joe Burrow's record in week 1 and 2 games, like out of 10 games, he's only won 1 or 2 of those games. So Bengals just don't play well early, so you can expect Burrow to get back higher point scoring. Kyle's wide receivers showing up. I think he waited till round 5 or 6 to start drafting his receivers, but he proved to get the guys he wanted and he needed. So good for Kyle for getting those receivers later in rounds that put up some numbers. And then I wanted to talk about Kyle's Raiders, Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers. I think they combined for maybe 20 points. I was curious to see how that works out moving forward, having 2 main guys and Genty and Bowers on the same team. How many points would you guys want out of a team like that with 2 main players on an offense each week?
I'd want 1 million points.
That's a good answer.
Well, I had Brees and Garrett Wilson, and I was happy if I got a combined 12 points with them. And that's not joking, because sometimes I would get 12 and the other would have 0.3.
Yeah, I think I feel like 20 would be about the floor of what you would want those 2.
Mm-hmm. But they were playing a tough New England defense in New England. So if that is the floor, that's not a bad floor to have. Yeah. And once they go to the Packers, if they're playing Matt LaFleur, I don't know what the floor you would want.
True. Something to just keep an eye on moving forward. They got the job done this week. For Kevin, big performance from the Broncos defense. I think they were one of his highest scorers. So we'll see if he keeps riding with the Broncos D. JSN what was JSN's target share? Do you know? You already said that.
Let me ask ChatGPT.
Cool. But he seemed to be getting the ball a lot. Not a lot of targets for old.
JSN's target share week 1 this year?
Looks like JSN had a pretty big role. In week 1 this year, he got about 56% of the Seahawks targets. So definitely a strong start for him.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ChatGPT. But yeah, that looks good for JSN. Pooperfuck did not get many targets, so JSN seems to be the clear number 1 in Seattle with Sam Darnold. So that's good for Kevin. But Nico, a lot of concern there with Nico. I've heard the Texans have a very bad offensive line, so we'll see if that affects Nico's performance this year moving forward. But a good win for Kyle, proving all the bettors wrong. And Kyle moves to 1-0, Kevin 0-1. So
now moving on to our last matchup, a heartbreak for one of your co-hosts. That co-host is me. Jack beat me down, pulled my pants down, abused me, beat me 122-101. I thought my wide receivers would be the constant, but they blew. Amon-Ra with 6.5, Ladd with 10, JJ with 13. Not what I was looking for. Did have some good running back help. Got ETN on the bench. That's looking interesting. But for Jack, the king is not dead. Derrick Henry with 28 looks like a monster. Only downside to Jack's team, Tyreek Hill, 6 points. Did you know it's been over a year since Tyreek Hill has had a 30-yard play or more?
I did know that.
You did know that. I bet that was probably going the rounds, but he was looking bad. But on his bench, Jack had Debo, and Breece Hall even looked like a viable option. I'm always saying those Jets are good. But this one was just a tough one for me. A lot of letdowns. Tough to watch, especially Ladd and JJ thought they'd really be a part of their team's passing, but just didn't seem the case. RJ, what'd you think about this one?
Yeah, Ted, I wouldn't be too worried long term, but yeah, Chuba gave up a little bit of a workload to Rico, but still looked great. Baker looked really good for you, Ted. But like you mentioned, yeah, real tough outing for your pass catchers. I would not be scared at all about Ladd. I think that's Ladd's complete floor. And really wouldn't be too worried about Amon-Ra. That Packers D is pretty tough with Matt LaFleur. I think that might be his floor.
Oh, okay.
But I would be a little scared with Justin Jefferson. If JJ doesn't continuously look like how he did in that fourth quarter, he should not have been drafted in the first round. You know what I mean? He needs to have that sort of consistency. But if that gets there, Justin will be just fine. Brandon Aubrey doing what Brandon Aubrey does, getting double-digit points in that kicker position.
No
but Mark Andrews, just god awful. And I know, just speaking of Ravens, that had to absolutely tear you apart watching Derrick Henry run all over the field, all over your defense.
Mark Andrews was blocking for him.
Yeah, and Mark Andrews was helping him. Traitor.
Really tough to see.
And then, Tyreek looked god awful for Jack. I mean, Jack was our highest scorer. 122 being our highest score, pretty low week in total. But Tyreek looked terrible, and he seemed to be bitching and moaning a lot on the sidelines. Rumors with him being traded. I think a trade would only help him fantasy-wise if that does happen. But does Jack expect that to happen? I don't know. Does he look to trade Tyreek? Doubt it, because Jack won't trade anything ever. But hold on. Oh yeah, CD looked fantastic. That was Thursday night, right? Yeah, Thursday night. He looked fantastic, especially in that first half. He had like 70 yards, I think. But yeah, Jack, I feel like his team and Kyle's team were the two teams getting the most hate from the sports books and bettors alike. and they won. And both their teams, I'm coming around to both of them. Kind of like them both.
Trev, what did you think about this matchup?
Yeah, the Naptown Classic, decided by Derrick Henry in his revenge game. Obviously, Teddy, the kind of points he can put up from last year, and he picked up right where he left off. Jack's always been high on Derrick Henry. That's his guy, and he got him really this win. I feel like coming down before that Sunday night game with Derrick Henry, it looked like it was going to be a real close matchup, but then Derrick Henry just did Derrick Henry things, took over, looked like a beast. So that was huge for Jack with Derrick Henry. Teddy, your defense in the negatives, even with the new defensive scoring system.
Only negative player. That was tough.
That is tough. But the new defensive scoring should be high defensive scoring, -3. Not what you like to see. But heard a lot of good things about the Baltimore defense, assuming they just didn't have that good matchup coming up with Josh Allen. So see if they can get you some more points in the future. But and then tight end one, Mark Andrews. Tough performance. Wasn't really involved, but I don't know. I mean, I think as long as he's not on my team, he'll be okay. So I think he'll be getting points too. And then, Brandon Aubrey. I'm so jealous that you have Brandon Aubrey. If you want to work out a
Chris
trade.
Boswell got more points.
I know, but I want Brandon Aubrey. So if you want to just trade straight up Chris Boswell for Brandon Aubrey,
do it.
And Trey McBride.
Something to think about. I would trade a lot for Brandon Aubrey.
If Trey McBride, Chuba Hubbard.
If the Bink had Brandon Aubrey, I would trade Trey McBride for Brandon Aubrey. But
so you're saying I got to trade Monty for someone that I want?
Brandon Aubrey. Maybe a three-way trade.
Three-person trade.
Now we're talking. Someone dial up the Bink on the pod. Let's get him on and let's work out a trade live on air.
Let's do it. First ever three-way trade. But I think your team will be all right, I think. And then for Jack, highest scorer this week. So he's got to be feeling good about that, except for Tyreek. Tyreek's back to beating his baby mamas. Saw there's another allegation out there.
Who can blame him,
Yeah, was probably just so pissed about the beat down he got from the Colts. He had to go home and beat up on his baby.
She probably kept running her mouth.
Yeah.
Really asking for it at that point.
Probably so. Were you at the game?
I was at the Colts game. It was electric. It was nice seeing Tyreek over there pouting. Now I might speak about it earlier, but Tyler Warren, he looks pro ready, let's say that, and he looks starter ready. He's learned a lot on my bench, and I think he's ready to make the leap.
Should we make a trade?
Who's we?
Me and you.
Do you want Tyler Warren?
For Travis Kelce.
No.
That's right. I forgot you had Tyler Warren. You don't even need
Kelce.
You don't even need
Taylor Swift.
I got second in a Taylor Swift trivia night last night.
What'd you win?
1 free beer.
Nice.
Sounds like you know a lot about Travis Kelce.
There was only one question about Travis Kelce. You just had to know his jersey number.
Yeah, I forgot you had Tyler Warren. You don't even need a tight end one.
But that is it for the week 1 recap. We will be right back with our week 2 preview coming up here and maybe something else. We'll be right.
What are folks 60 and older learning these days?
New perspectives.
How to fix things.
Fun recipe.
And we're back. Kyle hasn't been too active in the stats. So how about I bring a couple stats? I was pouring through all the data. I made my own Excel sheet, and then I threw it out and just said, NFLfantasy.com, give me some around the league. Did you guys know that first round draft picks only averaged 12.67 points?
Wow.
Second rounders put up 13.55 points.
Whoa.
And third rounders, probably because 2 quarterbacks were taken, but still third rounders averaged 19 points.
Whoa.
So third round picks average more than the first and second round picks. Insane to see.
Wait, say first round again.
12.67 points.
12.67, and Jameer had 10.
10.
Yeah. I think Jamar probably brought that down. And then another fun fact, Kyle was the only quarterback to win without starting, or only person to win without starting a top 15 quarterback.
Woo.
Joe Burrow was pretty rough. And then any other fun facts?
You said round 1 was 12 points?
12.67.
Who besides Jamar had less than 12?
Jameer.
I mean, Justin Jefferson only had 13. CMC had 19. Bijan had 21. Was there anyone else? Who was Kevin's first round pick?
Was it Josh Jacobs or Nico Collins?
Might have been Nico Collins.
Yeah, so he had 4.
So I think that probably did it in.
What was the average for second round?
13.55.
You said 19 for third round?
19 for third round. Probably being inflated by Josh Allen's 43 and Lamar's 33. 43 and 33.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
But those are it for my
fact.
facts of the week. Also brought to you by NFL.com.
That was brought to you by NFL.com.
Yeah.
Wow.
The premier fantasy football league provider.
That's their slogan.
Yeah, they claim it.
Can we talk about NFL.com for a second?
Commissioner, please, if you'd like to say a few words about NFL.com, feel free.
Last year, I remember the app was like crashing constantly on week 1. Like it was bad week 1. Needed some bug fixes and wasn't too many problems after that, I feel like. Did anybody else have problems with it or having problems with it?
No, maybe you should update your phone.
I probably should because mine was awful. I mean, like it would take forever to if I scroll to try and look at the next matchup, it wouldn't load. And then half the time I would scroll to the next matchup and it would show the 2 teams at the top, but then still show the previous rosters on from the game I was on before. It was pissing me off. So I think I'm going to be voting for sleeper come the
Whoa.
draft.
You probably just really need to update your phone. Go to your phones. Well, we probably need to get going on this podcast. I don't want to make it too long. Go to settings, general, and software update and tell me what software you're running.
I will do that. But you guys weren't having any problems with it?
I had no problems. I also, most days, I'm kind of scared to look. I keep track of my players and the other person's players to get a feel. But sometimes I don't want to know the exact score until late into Sunday. Once the Sunday night game starts, then I actually know the score.
Gotcha. 18.6.2.
Oh, yours is up to date.
Oh wait, maybe that's what it needs.
But what's your phone model? Do you have an iPhone 7 still?
Yeah.
That might be it.
You said go to iPhones. Oh, iPhone storage. Wait.
No, I did software update, but
Okay, I have 17.4.
Okay.
But I don't know. It was just pissing me off. So hopefully that gets better. But
Can you go to the App Store and update NFL, the app specifically? Open the App Store, click on the top right. Should be like your initials, maybe. It is for me at least.
yeah.
And then upcoming automatic updates. Do you see that?
Yeah. It says there's not enough storage to update.
For anything?
Yeah. It was probably a me problem, but
Yeah. Sounds like a you problem.
we'll get it figured out.
You and Kevin, because Kevin mentioned it. I think Kyle mentioned it too.
Kyle said it was killing his phone battery.
My phone was going down quick too, but I was at the casino. So, all right. Sorry.
Well, that was it for our troubleshooting portion of the ZFFFL FF Pod. Check back on our alternative channel, ZFFFL Tech News Pod. We're talking about the iPhone Air next week. We got a hands-on model. But here on this podcast, we've got the Week 2 preview. And I'm sure you've all been waiting.
As we begin the preview of Week 2 of the 2025 ZFFFL, I must remind you of our great sponsorship over at our ZFFFL ASICS Sportsbook, ASICS Footwear. Our approach for the new GT 2000 trademarked 12 Light Show trademarked shoe was to modernize the shape and make it more comfortable. ASICS, a sound mind is a sound body.
Then we got some good matchups this week. Why don't we start off with the one our commissioner is in? They're calling this the Dave's Bread Prove It matchup. Big storylines with this one. Will Lamar and CMC be enough to keep Trevor afloat? Can Kevin catch a break with some nuclear reactions brewing with Josh Jacobs, Nico Collins, Chase Brown with that rush share could be in there? But what people are saying about this matchup is that we really want to see, is Trevor legit? Let's prove it. Is Kevin a pushover? Let's prove it. Want to see it. RJ, what's the sportsbook thinking about this one before Trev gives his official 2025 first pick'ems?
Yeah, Kev gets started pretty hot and heavy Thursday with Jaden Daniels and Josh Jacobs. And matchup ends Monday on a fun one, Nico versus Mike Evans.
Ooh.
Kev really looking to not do the 0-2 start. Trev trying to make sure that does happen. Really interested to see what Trevor does in that running back 2 spot, personally. And then for Kev, my biggest worry, I guess, would be tight end right now, but I feel sort of okay with where Kev's team is at. He might look into picking someone else up. I don't know if Evan Ingram's healthy, but usually maybe like a Brenton Strange, the other tight end with the Jags, if Evan Ingram's out. A lot of just questions with this matchup, with the Kenneth Walker, what's he going to do? Is Christian McCaffrey going to have that workload every single week? Nico should be okay. Chase Brown going to have that workload every week. I don't know. Sportsbook, it's slim, but it favors Kevin -1.5.
Ooh. Wow.
Well, I certainly am excited to be the first guest picker for these sportsbook lines. But I'm calling this one the PBS Barney Classic. Classic matchup of roommates in Barney's place. RJ, you hit on a lot of my points with Kevin starting off with 2 big players on Thursday night, and Jaden Daniels and Josh Jacobs. And then coming down Monday, Mike Evans and Nico Collins. Head-to-head matchup there between him and I. I don't think I'm going to start Kenneth Walker. We'll see. He's in my lineup right now.
What might change the line then?
But just after last week, he just looked – I watched a lot of that Niners-Seahawks game, and he just didn't get a lot of opportunities, and the opportunities he did have, he kind of looked like poop. So right now, I might start old Bill Krosky Merritt in that spot. kind of
Little
waiting
Bill.
to see the status of Austin Eckler, see if that determines that. Maybe even a Nick Chubbster in that spot. But we'll see. We'll see what that lineup ends up looking like. Should be a good matchup, but for the first pick of my 2025 picks, I'm going to have to go with myself and pick Christian McCary to repeat to cover that. What was it? 1.5?
1.5.
An easy 1.5.
I'm going to have to go with myself to cover that 1.5 and go to 2-0.
Our next matchup is our Coors Light top of the Blue Mountain matchup between RJ and Kyle. Winner of this one potentially will be at the top of the league, 1-0 versus 1-0. We've got some huge storylines with this one. Will Joe Burrow shake off his early week voodoo? Can Saquon Gene, Garrett Wilson, can they get some nuclear action, follow up some good performances? RJ, can you get some of the play you expected out of Gibbs and A-Chain? Or are the Lions and Dolphins, are they just washed and that you've got good players on bad teams apparently? Who knows? A lot to watch for this one. It's going to be a close one, I think, but it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the sports book thinks. How's the sports book think about this one?
Yeah, big sort of revenge week here, right? My quarterback, Joe Burrow. I mean, it's not guaranteed Kyle starts him. I assume he would, but Justin Fields looked fantastic. But I would say Joe Burrow revenge, Jahmyr Gibbs revenge going at it right there. That should be fun to watch. We talked last year a lot about this in these previews, talked about like the red matchups and green matchups of the red being like the bot facing the 5 toughest and the green being the 5 easiest. So I'll Jesus, Max, I'll bring that back later on, but right now, or I'll bring it back now, but it really doesn't mean much because we're just going off of 1 week because it just goes off of right now. You know what I mean? But I have all red matchups except for Gibbs in London with an injury. So I hope he's healthy. Kyle also has a lot of red matchups as well. I personally like Kyle's team more, and he'll have Bowers and Genty Monday night. So I'll have to sit through that again.
Monday at 10 p.m.
Yeah. In my book, it's Kyle. The sports book, also Kyle, -4.5.
Ooh. Kamish, what you think about that one?
I think that's a good line there. I'm calling this one the big dog matchup of the week, brought to you by Chewy.
Ooh.
Both these teams 1-0. That means one of these teams is going to start 2-0. That is huge. They will be the big dog in the league. So really a matchup to keep an eye on. Losers still feeling okay at 1-1, but a really good opportunity for either of these teams to jumpstart to a 2-0 record, which is massive. Yeah, like we said, Genty and Brock Bowers right now only players on Monday night. So we can kind of assume that RJ might have a lead going into Monday, and we'll see if Genty and Brock Bowers, what they can combine for to go into Monday night. Kind of going back to the previous question, RJ, what would you like to be up going into Monday night with those two? Comfortably. Obviously, the more the merrier. But
yeah, I would say against the Chargers, defense isn't great. 25. I'm not comfortable with that, but I'd say
you're uncomfortable less than that.
Yeah. Like 18, I would be nervous. 20. And then I'd start feeling like not great, but I'd say 25 is where I'm like, okay, I think I have a 50-50 shot. Would you say, or what do you think?
I think 25 would be right about even.
Because, I mean, Genty, either of them, they could go for 20, but that just means the other one would probably score way less. So I think 25 might be it.
All right. I think 25 sounds good. I think that'll be interesting with those two. Same team playing the Chargers D. Chargers had the big win on in prime time last week, so we'll see. However, for my second pick of the 2025 season, I'm going to go with Rashee Rice plus 4.5. Kyle did it for the sports book last week. I don't know if he can do it again. I think that RJ worked some voodoo magic there on Monday night with TJ Hawkinson. I think I can see the same sort of situation coming with Genty and Bowers playing a tough Chargers team. Maybe they don't get quite as many points as last week. And RJ sits with the lead going into Monday night and keeps the lead after Genty and Bowers are on Monday. So I think it'll be a close matchup. Don't feel great about this pick, but I'm gonna go against Kyle's team again on this pick. So I'm gonna go Rashee plus 4.5.
That's bold. That's bold. Now we got our next matchup. Ray-Ban. Can you believe your eyes matchup? I think this one is something where I really want to believe it, but I don't know if I can believe it. Chase, the opportunity to go down 0-2. Jack, the opportunity to go up 2-0. Really putting themselves in places I didn't think they could be. Jack, this might be huge for his team momentum-wise. Building a 2-0 lead. Could see him go up and chase. People have been murmuring. A lot of people have been murmuring. But I think this is huge. I think if Chase has a chance, Jamar's got to get that 40-point revenge game. He needs a spark. And, is anyone else going to have a step up? Is Chase going to go a different way with quarterback because Mahomes has almost no weapons besides a 47-year-old Travis Kelce? And then Jack, on the other hand, he's got a solid team. But I guess part of the question is, will Derrick Henry be able to explode for 30 points each week? Something Jack might have to think about. RJ, what's the sportsbook think?
I think sportsbook thinks Chase has to creep.
Ooh.
Creep. Highest score versus lowest score. Teddy, you haven't seen the movie. You don't know. Highest score versus lowest score of last week. Matchup right here. Ovarian cancer coming in Monday night for Chase. What's he going to really bring to the table? And Tyreek back home in the Heat, divisional rival, the Patriots. Will he go off? Are they going to be able to get the ball deep, take the top off the defense?
Get the ball deep, take the top off the defense.
If I can't get to it, nobody can get to it. Will they be able to do that? Because that's the only way Tyreek can score the ball. No Kittle here for Chase. The book says no Kittle, no thank you. Jack, minus 4.5.
Still kind of low.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the biggest – it was minus 9.5 for Kevin last week, and Kevin lost by 9.5. I don't know how much it was, but – that's what sportsbooks say.
Trav, what you taking with this one?
Well, for this matchup, I'm calling this one the TGI Friday, Freaky Friday matchup, because typically in years past, Chase has been a dominant team in this league. Jack's still looking for that first championship. However, Jack is the number 1 seed right now, and Chase is the number 8 seed. So they've really switched places from what we've seen in the past. Ovarian Monday night versus Dicker the kicker. Jack, highest scorer last week. I like Jack's team. I just don't know about Tyreek. I'll be curious to see if he keeps Tyreek in that lineup. He had some good production from Debo sitting there on the bench. Travis Hunter getting a lot of targets. We'll see if Tyreek stays in that lineup. But overall, I think that with Chase, the injury to Kittle hurts him a lot. He's still got Jamar, but Bengals week 2 might still start slow. Chase going to be focused on his 49ers game. I think he's actually in the air to New Orleans right now as we speak. He probably has no idea even who's in his starting lineup. Looks like he just made the adjustments to the Kill injury yesterday, and he's just going to leave it at that. I think he'll be too focused on Bourbon Street, and I'm going to go with Jack to continue his win streak here and go to 2-0. I'm going to take Jack -4.5.
I think Chase might have the worst bench in fantasy football league history.
Go. Who's on his bench?
Jameson Williams, fine. Keon Coleman, fine. DeAndre Swift, fine. And then, he has IR, but Golden, the Packers, a lot of weapons there. I wouldn't hold them. Cam Scattaboo and Jadon Blue. I feel like you could pick up 3 guys on the waivers that are all better to own right now than any of those. Jadon Blue's a healthy scratch, and they said, at least last I saw, he was going to be a healthy scratch again. He's just not playing. Cam Scattaboo is nothing. I don't know. I think you know what? When Jack wins
Whoa.
matchup, it's official to put Chase at the bottom of this league.
Wow.
Yeah, in the bottom 3, not for the season, but just right now, potential of how I feel about facing them. He just doesn't want it. No. I think we really need to someone put Marco on speed dial. I'm saying we got to start waving something and Chase. We got to take Chase down to the principal's office. We need to have a talking with him.
Get Kevin to bring him in his office and say, "What's up?" What did he say to Josh Allen last year?
Yeah, he said, he kept threatening he was going to put Josh Allen on his bench. That's like Kevin saying in high school, I might go to Michigan and not IU for college. Okay, Kevin. What the fuck? You're lying, piece of shit.
Same with his grad school.
Yeah.
Might go to Michigan now. We knew he was staying in Chicago.
I thought he was going to
starting Josh Allen.
Hell, he texted something today about he might put someone on his bench. Yeah, his podcast is going way over time.
It was 4.5, right? For Jack?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jack will high score versus lowest score. I got to take Jack with the points there.
Easy peasy. Moving on to our last matchup of week 2. This is the Armani Meaty Man's Musk Cologne 2 Stinky matchup. An 0-1 against 0-1. These 2 teams might be stinkers. For Monty, big keys is Josh Allen and Bijan. The rest of his team is a letdown, but he needs them to keep pumping him up. And for me, I think I need J.J. Amon-Ra Ladd to have a big bounce back to stand a chance against Monty, but could be a tough one either way. RJ, what does the sports book think about the Armani Meaty Man's Musk 2 Stinky matchup?
The Bucky versus Baker matchup Monday night is going to hit like crack. That is going to be a great matchup to watch. Binky already has a new tight end. The tight end that I drafted, actually, David Njoku, in his starting lineup. It'll be interesting if he keeps that. The rookie tight end that the Browns drafted had more targets than David Njoku last week, so I don't know about that. Might have been an overreaction by me dropping him already. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't matter. Did you guys see, sorry to get a little off topic, Juwan Johnson's target share with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. I really like their connection there. And, Chris Olave is pretty much a vegetable at this point. So he's not going to be consistent. I kind of like that pickup on my part. Sorry. Sorry to get off topic. But again, Ted, receivers, J.J. McCarthy, is he going to look like he did first 3 quarters or that fourth quarter ripping the ball and getting J.J. the ball more? Because that's what you're going to need. And then for the Shea, A.J. Brown, what's he going to look like? That's the alarm bells were ringing already. This week, too, it's going to solidify it, what it's going to look like going forward. The book seems to expect a turnaround from Jay Jettas more than it does A.J. Brown. Ted, -4.5.
Ooh, number of the day. Trev, what do you think about that?
A lot of 4.5s. I like it. I'm calling this one the life alert time to panic matchup. Mm-hmm. Both these teams at 0-1. That means one of these teams will be 0-2. Do not want to start 0-2. That is not a great way to start off the season. So it's going to be a little panicky on Sunday for these teams, and Monday come with that matchup of Bucky and Baker. Teddy, I like your lineup. I see you got Tyler Warren in there already. Obviously, Brandon Aubrey and Amon-Ra and Jay Jettas will bounce back. James Cook had a good week last week. This is a tough one because I like Josh Allen, Bijan, Bucky on Monty's team as well. Be curious to see if Monty leaves A.J. Brown in there after that week 1 performance. He's got Emeka Egbuka on the bench right now. Maybe he plugs him in to try and take away some of those points from Baker. Wide receiver number 3 right now, Emeka. Those 2 touchdowns, but be tough having him and Bucky in there. You got Jettas that Sunday night, and we've got some key Monday night players, so I think this one won't necessarily be over anytime quick on Sunday. But I'm going to have to go with you co-hosts on here for having me on. I'm going to pick both co-hosts, so I'm going to go Ted with the points.
Damn it.
Was that -4.5 or +4.5?
I don't
even know. Just give me Ted. What was it?
-4.5.
-4.5.
Nail in the coffin. Darn. Oh, start. That's rough.
I found it.
Teddy, that just means you can win by less than 4.5 and you'll be good. But nothing against Monty's team. I love Josh Allen there. Just like last week,
you're never out
back in it. Yeah. So nothing against the Bink. I just got to go with the co-hosts here. But I think this one could go either way. So
Kevin was threatening with the thought of sitting Jaden Daniels. That's who he was talking
for who?
I don't know. Like he was going to pick up a quarterback. Like he won't, but it's like the same similar thing that he was doing with Josh Allen last year, saying like, the matchup, I don't know. I might start Baker. And he never once started Baker.
No. He got 22 points. That's pretty good.
I don't know.
Packers defense. Be fine by me if he did. So, well,
that was it for our week 2 preview. We are gearing up, all of us here at the ZFFL FF Pod. I don't know if you two have anything more to say, anything more to add. Any more fun facts, target share, analytics? Trevor, what's your CFB mortal lock of the week? Just real quick.
I was nervous that you were going to ask me that because I haven't had a chance yet to, with prepping for this pod, to look at my picks. So don't have a mortal lock yet. I will just say my mortal locks are 0-3. So maybe I'll throw one out there in the group later that you all can fade and win some easy money. But game day in Knoxville, so think about going down to game day on Saturday, but no mortal lock yet. We'll see. Bink just picked up just now. Tyler Loop.
Whoa.
Tyler Loop, is he the left-handed relief pitcher for the Mets?
I think
The new Justin Tucker.
we're doing IDP, independent something pitchers.
Just throw in a relief pitcher to our lineups.
How many kickers has Monty picked up and dropped? 1, 2, 3. Oh, just 3. Felt like more to me.
He's going with Tyler Loop, the new Justin Tucker. That changes everything. I think I'm going to go Bink plus 4.5. No, I'll stick with you, Ted. But yeah, so no lock yet. Fun facts that I have every Sunday. No unexpected wins or losses this week. Top 4 scorers win. And next week I'll get in to see how the guest pickers do with their picks.
The defense, though.
Defense did change matchup. No changes with the tight end premium. So
Did you
But
look at
tight end super premium? Did you check that?
I did not check that. I could have changed because I think Hawkinson did have one more catch than Kelsey. So could have been close, but we'll see. See if that ever changes. So.
Well, as always, thanks for listening to the Zionsville Football Fantasy Football League Fantasy Football podcast. Make sure to get those bets in with ASICS Sportsbook before the Thursday night game. Be sure to follow us on all social media at ZFFFL FF Pod on all major platforms. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, fuck
you, Trevor.